Escrow.
Let's go. Memorial tournament.
I know. Muirfield.
Muirfield. It's a fun word to say.
Yeah. Everything says that the course is obviously not easy.
Yeah, Muirfield Village. Just so you don't, for people that don't know, it is Jack Nicholson's crowning jewel, his ode to Columbus, where he grew up. And it's really tough. It's more of like try not to mess up more so than like try and go for the hero shot.
Yeah, and that's what we do. If you first time listening, always like and subscribe. We're gonna be playing 15, 16, and 17. So always on the show, we always try to do like a par 3, par 4, and par 5. And we play scramble format.
Yep.
And we are going to scramble.
From the tips.
Play best ball. Goal is to beat par. Right.
And for a 17 handicap and probably a 23 handicap.
Yeah.
It sounds easy, but it's not.
It's not easy. It all comes down. I mean, honestly, what's the toughest part is the tee shot.
Right.
I mean, you're playing holes that are like 500-600 yards. It becomes really difficult to be in play.
Well, also like we're mentally psyched from just seeing the 600 on there. We're like, oh, nice. That's 3 or 4 shots for us.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we pulled it off a couple times. I think we're 3 for 8 or no.
Yeah,
3
it's not bad. I mean, for guys that just want to come to the office, hang out, do our real estate work, and get in front of the cameras and play a little golf and talk real estate. I mean, it's worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, definitely. And we're putting out great content too.
Yeah, today we're talking about a pretty hot topic.
This is definitely a very hot topic. Actually, we're gonna push some buttons.
Can't say it.
Yeah, we'll push some buttons.
It's private.
You got to tune in. I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's private. You can't talk about it.
Yes, you can't. It's in my pocket.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons to the private listing network.
Right.
That, some agents, I mean, look, I'm going to go into a little bit. We have different views on it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to be talking about that after we golf, after we play some phenomenal golf.
Oh, yeah. And if you've tuned in, you know that I love mincing my words. So that's a joke as well. But you're going to see exactly how I feel about this, where I should give you a clue how I don't feel about it.
I know, and that's what I said. So we're going to tee up. We're going to talk a little bit about the private. We're going to talk a little bit what it is, pros and cons about the private listing network. Most importantly, we're going to golf today.
Hell yeah.
We're in the office. It's sunny outside, but nice. We're going to rock it inside, right?
It's going to be awesome, and I'm just going to put my shout out that hopefully Scotty Scheffler gets back on the winning track because he is the defending champion from last year.
Oh, they're playing
Muirfield Village. I know a guy very closely who got his first fake ID out of Dublin.
Oh my
Ohio.
gosh, I did. I was in that's high school.
That's crazy.
It was like Pete Jacobson or something. It was like such an Ohio name too. But yeah, it was out of Dublin, Ohio. So
that's sweet.
It worked
right
for a while.
there in Muirfield Village.
Worked for a while. So, well, excited about this one. I think 15 is going to be the hardest.
Yeah, I don't know. That par 3 looked really hard because it's all water to the left. It's kind of a tough shot for us.
Yeah. We'll get there, though.
We'll see. I mean, I'm excited about the golf, but really excited to just come down hard on some private listings.
Well, I think that it's been a pretty hard topic for everybody. Like some agents, and let's look at the 80-20 rule. 80% of agents probably don't even know what the private listing network or what the pros and cons.
Right.
So we're going to explain a little bit about what it is and how it works in the industry. We're going to talk a little bit about maybe why you have a different opinion than I do. So I think it would be a good topic today, and excited to kind of bring some good content and hopefully some really good golf.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're going low. Come on, baby.
Yeah,
I want that plaid jacket.
All right, let's hit it.
From the tee box to the table where the deals get done. PAR ESCROW, let's run it. Step to the tee box, locked and loaded. Straight down the fairway, watch me close it. Name's right, but you can call me PAR. Swing so clean that I'm raising the bar. Nova on my back, I know the land. Read it like a green with a plan in my hand. Birdie every deal, never miss the cut. Keys in your palm for the clubhouse shit. Tee it high, let it fly. Sign the line, watch the value climb. PAR ESCROW, where the green meets the gavel and the deals offload. From the back 9 to the front door, let's go. PAR ESCROW, PAR escrow. Been on the deck, and they call me escrow. Closing every contract, watch the paper flow. Inspection to the title, gonna seal it tight. Funded up by Friday, in the keys that night. Put for the win, sink it in the cup. Offers on the table, ain't no giving up. Golf and real estate, that's the lifestyle. Closing rounds and houses, got them lined up a mile. PAR escrow. Where the green meets the gavel and the deals off road. From the back nine to the front door, let's go. PAR escrow. Two for the fairway, two for the close. Ryan and Ben, that's the dynamic, yo. Drive it, put it, list it, so welcome to the show. PAR escrow. Tune in, sign it, let's go. Yeah. From the tee box to the table where the deals get done. PAR escrow, let's run it. Step to the tee box, locked and loaded. Straight down the fairway, watch me close it. Name's right, but you can call me PAR. Swing so clean that I'm raising the bar. Nova on my back, I know the land. Read it like a green with a plan in my hand. Birdie every deal, never miss the cut. Keys in your palm for the clubhouse shut. Tee it high, let it fly. Sign the line, watch the value climb. PAR escrow, where the green meets the gavel and the deals offload. From the back nine to the front door, let's go. PAR escrow, been on the deck, and they call me escrow. Closing every contract, watch the paper flow. Inspection to the title, gonna seal it tight. Funded up by Friday, in the keys that night. Put for the win, sink it in the cup. Offers on the table, ain't no giving up. Golf and real estate, that's the lifestyle. Closing rounds and houses, got them lined up a mile. PAR escrow, where the green meets the gavel and the deals offload. From the back nine to the front door, let's go. PAR escrow. Two for the fairway, two for the close. Ryan and Ben, that's the dynamic, yo. Drive it, put it, list it, so welcome to the show. PAR escrow. Tune in, sign it, let's go.
I'm happy with it.
Are you? That was good.
I mean, I'm not ecstatic.
I had a couple embarrassing shots.
I'm not writing home about it, but
Yeah. Fun course though. I want to play. We should play this.
we should play the back nine or like
Yeah, we can play
full
the
18.
maybe with some hibachi.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hibachi Thursdays. All right, we grill
So
out.
if you guys don't know, yeah, we grill out.
Grill out on Thursdays.
We got the Blackstone behind us. We got the garage door. We bust that bad boy open
play golf.
and play golf and
Have a few
talk about.
drinks.
We talk about real estate. Like, hey, you have any deals this month? And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and then
Then
we
we
golf.
talk about just whatever.
Whatever. We'll get golf on Thursday. We'll have golf on the TV too.
Yeah.
So
And
watch it, play it, eat hibachi.
And we're gonna talk a little smack.
And we do this every week. We talk about it, about what we're going to eat. So hopefully that gets your appetite up and brings you in. But today we're going to get into the private listing war. I think it's a great topic. I mean, one, we want to inform kind of sellers their options. I think that's the goal. Like, help real estate agents understand. Like, I feel like some people, are so for this or so against it. They're like picking sides on it. I'm kind of neutral. I mean, I think there's a place for it, but Ben's going to take a different perspective than maybe what I look at with the private listing network. But mainly it's like you're listing a home, but it's not going on the MLS. So it's not going on the MLS. When you list on the MLS, that actually syndicates that listing out to thousands of different websites, all the different private websites out there. And
See last week's episode.
yeah, see last week's. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's not really, that's part of like why we're part of the MLS. Some of the tools that the MLS does for exposure. And I think what a lot of this war comes down to people saying, I like the private listing, so it's not getting exposed on the MLS. It's not going out on all the various websites. I think it's a data war. It's like who's controlling and owning the data more than are we doing what's right for the consumer? And that's my take.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you call it data. I call it money hungry. To each their own, but There's evidence that they are money hungry on both sides. The reason why Zillow said Compass isn't allowed on our site, and then Compass sued Zillow, is because they wanted the data.
Want data, yeah.
And guess what? That translates to money for them. And the reason why Compass wants to keep it private is because of money.
Yeah.
That's, to me, what it comes down to. And it's money hungry, greedy, slimy agents. Now, this is the only thing I will say
Okay.
positive about pocket listings.
Okay. I want to hear this.
And pocket listings is just another name for private listings. But
also office exclusive or whisper listing. I haven't really heard that one, but that's one that's not used around our market.
Listing. Whisper. But yeah, no, I mean, okay, I've never worked with a celebrity.
Yeah.
Ronnie from Baltimore, we'd love to work with you though, brother.
Yeah.
No, but and I'll give you some sweatpants money, I promise. But I've never worked with celebrities. So I can understand where like heads of state or Congress people, men and women, celebrities.
Yeah, just don't want.
They're willing to take the loss. They have multiple commas in their bank account. So like it's not for the average person at all. And even divorcees is one of the things that they point to, or like a tight-knit neighborhood. Like, if it's that tight-knit, aren't you going to tell your neighbors you're moving anyway?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, all of these, to me, are just BS, hard sales tactics forcing you into losing money.
Well, I kind of go back. So, like, early in my career, I was a little bit like, maybe 80% on the loan side of the business, 20% in the real estate side. So like this is back in 04, 05, 06. And one of these products that came out, you hear about it as one of the products that maybe helped crash the market was this mortgage product called Pick-a-Pay. Now, Pick-a-Pay in itself was a phenomenal program for the right consumer. Okay, every month, what a Pick-a-Pay is you actually were able to do a 30-year payment, a 15-year mortgage payment, an interest-only payment, or what was called a negative amortization payment, which would be like a really low number that actually is tacking on interest back on. So if you make that payment, it's below the interest amount, so they're tacking interest on the back end. So
that's good for a sliver of folks, right?
In some situations. So what happened was, that program actually paid really good yield spread premium back in the day. So like a lot of
the lenders.
To the lenders. So the lenders, by selling the product, made better commissions. So throwing that out to the sales force, most people are looking at saying, look, I got this product, it pays more, and it's very easy to sell because it gives people the option of what they want to pay that month. Now, I think that product was great for somebody that's self-employed, sales, commission-based, where it's like, I had a really good sales month, I'm going to pay the 15-year mortgage.
Yeah, and then I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks.
Yeah, sales are not good this month, maybe interest only, maybe the neg am. But I think that product, a lot of people are selling that to somebody on fixed income. You got the postal worker that's making a salary each year, working overtime, try to pay bills. And when their mortgage payment came in, they said, I can pay 1, 2, 3, or 4. That neg am payment of saying, instead of paying $1,500, I can pay $500 this month.
Yeah, and then I'm rich.
And what happened was people were losing equity in their homes. So what I look at is same with kind of the private listing. So there's some benefits to it. Like you said, somebody that doesn't want their property exposed on the MLS, willing to take maybe a little bit of a loss by not having maximum exposure. If we look at some other things that are pros to it, one of Compass's things, we go on private listing network first. We kind of test price. There's no days on market. So we get to test a few things about the listing before we go coming soon and fully on the market. So,
okay, so I'll beat that right now is, guess what? You go coming soon, or you do that through Compass or whatever in your private listing network. And then you have a buyer that gives you the number, right? You're like, well, they gave us what we were asking for. Well, guess what? You could have left 50 grand, 100 grand on the table.
Yeah.
You could have left so much money on the table, and you'll never get to find out because you didn't put it out to everyone.
Now, some people in the opposite, some people don't want all the people flowing through their house. So like if you have, and you know when you go into a listing, when you go into a listing and you have a listing that you know from an agent's perspective, they've done everything to make your job really easy.
Right.
The house shows well. It's very well maintained. They're meticulous. Shows like a model. You know that thing's going to sell off the market. A home like that, I mean, you want to get that on the market to get the multiples. You want to be able to get people, and the multiples are going to drive price up. So in your scenario, you're saying, well, if it was private, I didn't get the multiples, I'm not going to drive price up. And stats go.
And you can't even, a lot of times you can't even say, hey, I have an offer in hand.
It's statistically, you look at, they've done a study, Zillow did a study of all people. They're saying that it was over 10 million cases or whatever they went through, that the average loss on a private listing is about $5,000 per client, up to, in some cases, $30,000. So there are stats and statistically showing that under the private network, you will probably sell for a little less. Now, but in some cases, you also have it where people don't want their information, their house and everything out in the public. And I think that's the only thing. Look, I mainly agree with what you're saying as far as I don't see a lot of positives to it. But the only positives that I see in the private listing network is somebody that just can't have their property out on the open market and just having random people coming through their house. So I think it works a little bit better maybe in the higher end market, maybe a little bit more in the luxury market.
Possibly.
And it may work well in a case that, you know, people are divorcing. They don't want people knowing they're selling their home. They're already probably taking a bloodbath on their financial situation by going through the divorce. So there are certain situations where I feel there are some positives that it can work in. Now,
I don't ever want to be so rich that $100,000 means nothing to me.
that would be it's not necessarily saying
that could be 5%.
But when you get into the luxury market and you get into that higher end, like you also have stronger buyers. You know what I mean?
But I mean, is like just because you have an 8-car garage with all your toys, is $100,000 still nothing? No,
it's not nothing.
I think you gotta
you just don't want.
You don't want the traffic in there. So there's other options that you can do. You can request a proof of funds before they show the house.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that, like, for me, the perfect analogy is if you're selling your car on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Would you choose to set your parameters as only sending this out to 0.25 miles within where you live? Or would you set it out to the whole state or wherever?
Well, it's kind of
similar. Would you make it public?
What I feel like what your frustration is with a lot of these agents that go with the private listing is that they're actually trying to double dip.
I haven't even got to that because that's what really ticks me off. I hate slimy agents. And they, as a private listing, their goal is to bring the client in through their private network. And then they get to do what's called dual agencies. So they give it to someone in their brokerage to run the company or run the purchase side.
Or unrepresented.
But dual agency means that you're effectively representing both sides. So
one agency, one brokerage is covering.
Yeah, exactly. But we've seen it so many times where it's like, this is clearly a little sketchy. But in every other business, that's called fraud. You can't represent both sides.
Well, just think about, all right, this big battle between Compass and Zillow.
Right.
So what is the big battle? Actually comes down to
money.
Data. Well, data is money in the market. So we look at it as like data. So like if Compass doesn't have their listings, they're one of the top brokerages out there. If they don't have their listings syndicating out to Zillow, Zillow can't use all these listings that agents that are in flex programs and paid zip codes are not getting access to the buyers that would go to their site, request those showings and and connecting those connections. They're losing business that they could be selling off to the agents. So where Compass is just saying, okay, we're going to keep that exclusive in-house and kind of fight the beast and have our own data, where Zillow's like, hey, you can't keep data from us that needs to be sold. So like when it gets into that category, I'm kind of like, dude, I don't like either way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the data should go in the MLS the old school way. Everybody should have access to it. So like the private listing network makes me want to throw up.
Yeah,
When you think about it at the top.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is pretty scary when I don't know too many people that trust lawmakers
Yeah.
as working truly for you. But when lawmakers are making laws saying that these private listings should not be allowed because you're doing your sellers and even your buyers a disservice.
Correct. Yeah.
When they're actually doing that because it's so blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, to
when you're
me,
talking-
we're
and what-
talking about like a 0.5%.
And you're
of the
talking
market.
about in DC, the couple laws recently have come out where they're trying to make agents do their job, saying it has to go into the MLS. You have to market it out. It's, you know, you can't monopolize, one company can't monopolize a corner in industry.
Yeah, imagine talking about this like during civil rights or the Fair Housing Acts,
Yeah.
like legislation. Oh, actually, we're just going to market to the uber rich
Yeah.
or the people that have access to our off-market
So,
stuff.
but I feel like the issue that you're having here is that there is a market for private listings, and it's a very, very, very small market.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
said 0.5. I would even go
so-
as far as 0.1%.
So it's not for your everyday real estate agents, like
No.
that's selling houses.
It's happening way too much.
It's happening too much. And I saw this recent statistic that said that 63% of sellers in the market said that their agent had a conversation about the private listing process.
Yeah, and
compared
5 years ago.
compared to 5 years ago, where maybe only 10 or 15%. So it is something that is coming across the seller's table a lot more in today's market than it ever has been. And you have to look at it. It's like, if I'm selling my home, you know, I'm not anybody famous or anything like that. I want to be able to like go out and have maximum exposure.
Yeah.
And one of the things I always talk about at my listing presentations is like, just imagine like you had the brand new Air Jordans that just dropped. You had a pair in your store, okay? And everybody wanted it. So you go out there and you market that you have that pair. Retail price maybe $150.
Yeah.
You could charge $300-$400. People are going to pay it because it's supply and demand. So if you're making the demand really high on a house that maybe you price it well, you're marketing it well, your client's going to end up getting more for that house.
Absolutely.
And when you look at maybe your argument and my main argument against the private listing network is that this seems to be a data war up top. Okay, who controls the data, controls the client, controls the money. What we look at from our perspective as agents is saying we want to do our best job in marketing the client's home, getting maximum exposure. There are some cases that, you know, you may have somebody that's rich and famous that has a luxury home. And statistically, when you look at the numbers, that seems like the only kind of market that's kind of cornering it. You know, are some of these agents truly testing the market on price and days on market, not calculating?
Or are they showing you the pros and cons?
Or
That's
are they
what I wanna
actually
know.
going out there and taking their private listing, putting it in the market, and trying to use that data to drive more buyers into their pipeline?
Right.
Because if that buyer, if somebody calls on that listing that you have the private listing for, and maybe that listing's not ready for them or not the right one for them, they have the data now for those clients to maybe go and help them buy another home in the market. So we look at, I think the big reason this is such a tornado in the industry is just like when back in my scenario when I was talking about the pick a pay program, is when you offer something to a real estate agent that could potentially earn them more money by having the data, getting the phone calls directly off of it, double dipping on a transaction, the greed's gonna come out. Okay.
And you
just
lose
like they
your
did on the,
fiduciary responsibility. Like
Correct.
Like a lot of people don't understand that we are fiduciaries, and that means serving our clients above ourselves.
correct.
And people forget about that. Like, so you lose all of that. And the funny thing that I go through when I'm in a listing presentation in Maryland, we do have the exclusive right to sell document, And there are still areas where they could initial saying, you can't put my property address up. You can't put my pictures up. You can't. So it's like, and then there's a paragraph right below it that says, by checking off any of these boxes, you understand that you are affecting your fiduciary's ability to sell this house properly and create interest.
Yeah.
So you're literally saying, yep, I'm fine with not getting max exposure.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny though. Like, I mean, I recently had a friend that he's a real estate agent and listed his personal house. And he put it, you know, this whole thing that was like this private listing network on there, you know, and again, it was like probably a scenario. It wasn't the best scenario for it, but it was like reading the comments were the best. Like other real estate agents, like just put it on the MLS. You'll get more people interested. Like, so when we look at it, yes, there's a couple companies. A lot of people work for companies that are pro private listings, and they have probably very valid points on their side of the pros of why they promote that. Then you got these other companies out there that have very valid cons on why not to do the private net. But when it boils down to what I look at is this is just a big old argument about data in most cases. Like we said, 99% of cases, like probably not going to work for the consumer, the seller.
Yeah,
The seller's goal is to sell the house. And one of the stats that came out, I forget one of the companies that stat. I'll probably throw it up in the comments later because I have to look it up because I don't want to misquote this. But it actually came out and said that it sells the houses at higher than the list price. But what the private listing network doesn't show is the history of pricing. Right. So you know what I mean? Like you dropped the price because it wasn't selling. Well, that's not affected in the overall price. And then you get a buyer that comes in and they negotiate a price a little bit higher. It doesn't tell the days on market. So it's not really giving the best data for the market. It's saying, okay, how competitive was this in the market?
Absolutely. And I mean, you can manipulate data across all data points. But for me, it comes down to if it's a private listing, the most common term I hear is a pocket listing.
Yeah.
Right? Whose pocket is your listing in? Your agent.
Yeah.
Not yours. It's not in your pocket. It's in your agent. So it's in your agent's network. It's his ability. It's his pocket. And he's controlling everything. He or her are controlling everything. And it doesn't make sense to me because guess what? You don't have the network of other people's buyers.
Well, the last thing that I'll kind of bring up is like when we come on the data side is like it's also the war on the MLS. So a lot of companies feel that the National Association of Realtors and the big lawsuits and everything like that, you know, and some of these companies that were hit really hard with the commission lawsuits are looking back and saying, you know what, the MLS kind of put us in those situations. So they're kind of like, we're anti putting our data into the MLS that then's going to syndicate out. So there's a lot of these like wars, but the bottom line that I always look at is what is best for the consumer.
Yeah.
And if you give a reason or you give the agents the ability to make more money by them solely having control over the data or that listing, I think you're going to have a lot of people that look at this and try to take advantage of sellers and selling this whole idea of the private listing network that it's not a very good private listing network client, i.e. going back to the pick a pay and saying you're on a fixed income. We know you're going to do the negative amortization, but I'm selling this product because I'm making more money on it. It comes back to that same kind of scenario. And I look at where the future of real estate is. You always, in any situation that we're in, when I get issues brought to us here at the brokerage and saying, all right, X, Y, and Z went on in this transaction. The first thing I look at is saying, was this good or bad for the client?
Yeah.
Okay, forget about the agents and the brokerage and everything like that. Was the buyer or seller that we represent negatively affected, especially financially, by the situation?
Absolutely.
And I look at the situation with the private listings, and mostly I agree with what you say, and almost all the way in on what you're saying. But there's a few very, very small situations, but that's not what's going on.
That's not how it's being used. And you're like, one, you're leaving money on the table. And we're talking about average people doing this. So we're not talking about like Mr. Bezos and Mr. Musk, you know? We're talking about average people doing this, and they're leaving money on the table. And one thing that I just thought was like hilarious to not see in our research, all of this is going to be public anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be public after it settles.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's the last thing you want to do is like, and again, from a broker's perspective, the last thing I want is that you go and you sell a house in the private network and you sell it to somebody that came to you directly, and you sell that house at, let's just say market value was 525 and you sold it at 500 and you sold all day long and it was worth 500. They found out you shorted them money, you know.
You're opening yourself to litigation. And look at, all right, so not as many states have figured out that this is bad yet, but they're figuring it out as we go. We're seeing more and more litigation on this, more and more laws hit the books. But one thing that's existed forever in our industry is wholesaling.
Yeah.
There are tons of states that will not allow wholesaling. Why?
Yeah.
Because it puts like your fiduciary responsibility off the table. It puts the money
Correct.
and the steering and the greed into the agent.
Well, I got this good idea. I mean, one of the things that I would recommend is that if you want to come in and challenge Ben,
You'll lose.
whoa, what's it say? You can challenge him, but you have to play him in golf.
And then we'll sit down and argue.
Then we'll sit down and talk. So you can come in, play golf, and then you can argue about one or two things. You can like golf play or private listings, pocket listings, whatever you want to call it.
I would love to talk to Mr. Compass about this because I know that the numbers. How many famous people do you know?
There's not many, but there's maybe a few. But they're.
I mean, super famous.
Oh no, not many.
Like A-list celebrities.
Not many.
Yeah.
There's a couple of realtors that think they are.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's more than a couple.
Yeah.
But it is such a small market that this works out for.
Yeah.
It is not the common market. It should not be the commonplace of average citizens. Even like maybe the top 1%. Of the top 1%, I think it only works for half of them.
If you look at everything that's listed in the MLS, in our bright MLS, I think there's something, and this is going commercial, multifamily, land, anything that's on the market.
Right.
I mean, there's 10,000 plus, like, and businesses, like, there's a lot of things that are on the market. I want to say that there is still a very, very small percentage that I would say this would apply to in a positive manner. And if people want to come in and say, you want to challenge us, I would love that. But again, the only way you can bring your points up, got to play golf first.
Yeah. I'm totally
to
fine with that.
And maybe if you can challenge us and you turn us into believers, we'll do a follow-up episode just praising private listings. What do you think?
All right. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, like, hey, bring your celebrity in too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bud.
And like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Muirfield Village is a tough one. Go, Scotty.
All right, let's go.